Now it's time to expose the devil. Bring forth life, my child. Heal the children. Save the family. Hello, everyone. I'm starting a new thing today. I didn't really know where to start. So Spirit told me what to say. God told me what to say. You know how human beings tend to spend years and years unpacking our traumas, overcoming our generational baggage, just to finally ascend? Thousands of dollars in therapy, countless hours on YouTube and master classes, trying to figure out how we can overcome the problems and the things that were created by our childhood, the perceptions that we have gained through our childhood. Well, what if I told you that that's only half of the story? You see, step one is to free yourself of those generational curses and traumas that have come through your bloodline, that have shaped your perception of the world. Yeah. But do you want to know what step two is? Step two is raising a generation that starts where you finished, whose starting point is your ending point, whose past is your present. This lineage, this generation, this next generation, your light babies may never fully know or understand what you went through to learn the lessons that you learned. They'll never know the struggle of your battles. But they could hold the weapons. They could hold the weapons that you built within yourself to fight those battles and overcome those battles. Remember in the Karate Kid when Mr. Miyagi had the kid wiping wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off for days and days and days. And then he finally gets into a fight. And he's like, hold up. I didn't know I knew how to fight. All he was doing was waxing on and waxing off. But little did he know that those were the exact movements that he needed in the exact moment that he needed them to defeat and to defend himself and defeat himself against the enemy that was in front of him. Well, that's what I'm talking about. He taught him the tools he needed to fight the battles without passing on the traumas, without bringing back the past. He showed him the weapon without showing him how he got to the weapon, how he built the weapon, without showing him the trauma that was associated with getting that very weapon. That is our responsibility. That's our job as conscious ascended parents. That's the goal of conscious parenting. I cannot tell you how many times in my own personal life that someone has come up to me acting weird. Their energy just felt off, or the way they moved was just not in accordance to what I was used to. And acting authentically, acting in accordance to my programming, protected me so many times in those situations. Acting the way I always do, the way I learned to act, with people protected me. And it wasn't until many years later that I realized, whoa, my mom or my dad told me or taught me to always do XYZ. And that is the very thing that protected me from this situation that I knew nothing about, that I understood nothing about. The reaction was the perfect reaction to defeat an obstacle or a trauma, or to escape a trauma that I didn't even know existed. Don't for 1 minute think that the battles you fought against won't come back and try to get your kids. That's why they say certain things just skip a generation. Because it's one thing to free yourself. It's a whole other thing to free your lineage. A trust fund kid isn't just a kid with a bank account. A trust fund kid is a kid whose mother and father or their grandparents or their great grandparents, somewhere in their line, they overcame the curse of poverty. They overcame and walked into financial freedom. And the difference between a trust fund baby or a rich kid that spends it all and true generational wealth is the programming. What did those kids get passed on? What did they learn from the waymakers? From the person that freed themselves? That person, that chain breaker in the family, what did they pass on to their lineage? Did they pass something on? Because if they didn't, I bet you that wealth was lost. What programming did that ascended parent leave to their lineage? It's not enough to free yourself, because poverty could easily skip a generation. We've all heard that quote of, if you drive a Honda, you will drive a Honda, your kid will drive a Ferrari, your grandbaby will be on his 2 feet. How do we escape that? With programming, guys. With programming. You have to teach the young ones the lessons that it took you years and cycle after cycle to overcome. You got to teach them. You got to give them the weapons. Depending on your spiritual background as a listener, you'll feel more comfortable with the word curse, generational curse, or trauma, but it's the same thing. Whatever you call it, just know that it's your responsibility as a parent to transmit the things you learned, to continue the work of freeing your generations that will walk in purpose, that will allow them to walk in their purpose from a much younger age. I know for a fact that there are people in my past ancestry that never even considered having a purpose. They spent their lives trying to survive. And I know people today that tell their kids, yo, you got a year, kid. You got 2 years, kid. You got 4 years, kid. Because after that, we're going to need you to start helping us survive. There are people out here who don't have the luxury of even exploring a purpose. But here I am, standing in mine because of the work that was done by my ancestry and the programming that was transmitted that allowed me to stand on their shoulders and know I had a purpose and find my purpose. And when it comes to my kid, he doesn't even need to know he has a purpose, because he'll be walking in it before he even realizes, because he's starting on my shoulders. I'm looking for his purpose. Day in, day out, what he's good at, what he's not good at. I'm looking for his purpose. He won't need to spend 20, 30, 40 years trying to figure out what that is, because I will already have figured it out for him. I've been watching since the day that boy was born, since he was in my belly. I've been watching for the signs of purpose. And who knows where he will reach? Who knows where his kids will start? But the only thing I can do is to give the programming, to build the structure so that he can stand on my shoulders. My name is Erica, and I'm here to talk to you about conscious parenting from a place of spiritual growth and ascension. I'm here to tell you today that the lessons that you had to learn to free yourself from whatever it was that you came out of childhood with, those lessons are the weapons that will arm your children to go into battle and defeat their own demons or their own curses or their own childhood traumas. Because the truth is, we don't know what's going to affect them. We as parents don't have the capacity to control everything. And trying to do that isn't the answer. I speak as a single mom, and I say, I'm lucky in the sense that for me, that's just impossible. From day one, I knew that that was an impossibility. I could not control everything. It was impossible. But I have seen so many parents, so many couples devote their entire lives to trying to control the possibilities, trying to control everything for their child. But guess what? There's a different way. Like, in the most gangster way possible. I didn't choose this life. This life chose me. But that doesn't mean that you can't choose this life. Instead of trying to control every little aspect of your child's life, you could give them the tools to protect themselves. You can give them the tools. You can give them the weapons. You can teach them to wax on, wax off. So when the obstacle comes, whatever that might be, they'll be able to protect themselves without even knowing what they're doing, without even understanding the fullness or the seriousness of the situation. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you, oh, you're going to protect your child from everything. He's going to be perfect. No, he's going to get to another level of obstacles and overcome another level of trauma that you probably didn't get to. But it's more than just about you. It's more than just about him or her, your child at the end of the day. It's about the lineage. It's about the past, your ancestors. It's about the present, you. And it's about the future of your bloodline. You think that you're the only one? No. You might be the first. You might be, but guess what? Every single generation has broken a chain, a link in the chain. There's a reason why Mark Zuckerberg is the one that invented Facebook and not me. Because you know what? I was born. I was there. I was of age. I could have done it. But that's not the level of which my lineage is on. He stood on the shoulders of his parents and his grandparents and his ancestry and the things they overcame to deliver him to a space where he could change the face of the entire planet, where he can make an impact that literally changed modern history. Same thing for Bill Gates. And now you see Bill Gates' daughter. Bill Gates said, no, I'm not going to give my kids are not going to get any of my money. They don't need it. They have his programming. They know how to do what he did because they were there. Maybe they weren't there while he was doing it, but guess what? He passed on the weapons. He passed on the lessons. So they might not end up doing the same thing in software or in computer or in technology, but they'll do it in something else. They'll do it in something different. But believe me, those kids are not ordinary. Because they stand on the shoulders of a man that literally changed history. That changed the era, that managed by his action to change the modern era. Life, history as a whole, as a planet, we can account for life before Microsoft and life after Microsoft. And those kids stand on that structure, on that programming. So let me ask you this. Who's programming your kids? Is it you? Is it the TV? Is it the video games? Why isn't it you? If this is a subject that you'd like to further explore, I welcome you to subscribe. If not, then keep it pushing, baby. Don't let me hold you because it's about to get weird.